Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of the D&D Express, the Puddle Jumpers Season 1, episode 6. Our adventurers found themselves going deep into the ocean, finally realizing that they needed to have the magical necklace in order to go into the deep waters without sustaining any damage from the heavy water above them. But as they did actually continue to go down further, they were ambushed by a bunch of monsters going around them in an attempt to escape. Unfortunately, Ocho casting a loud thunder caused her own teammates, her own team members to take damage as Poe and Gilliam begin to fall into the deep before the rest of the group manages to catch them. So Poe and Gilliam just like faint. And you're kind of just like a fish fainting in the water as it just floats down. And Mr. Muck reaches for Poe and holds Poe in his arms. And who is grabbing Gilliam? I think Rockstar and you were. I think Rockstar and Phileas were.
I wasn't gonna actually grab at him. I was going to reach out my hand, and my slimy hand was gonna shimmer, and I'm gonna send out a spectral version of my hand. Which is Mage Hand, and attempt to assist Rockstar and grab at Gilliam's collar.
Okay. So you both managed to get a hold of Gilliam, and Mr. Muck manages to get a hold of Poe. And now
no, my beloved Poe! Oh, someone help! Oh.
Sorry. And I'm gonna like swim up to Poe and cast.
What have you done?
It was an accident.
What did you do?
I'm gonna cast Healing Word.
Okay.
I'm
gonna do what's the same on my target.
What are the
What's
words?
that?
What are the words?
They will be oh, I don't know. Do I because I guess it's a verbal.
What's the healing word you say?
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe?
Okay, take it.
Savage.
Does it have to be the same word every time?
Just
No,
be anything you want.
Okay. I'm gonna just like very sadly go, it's a mistake. It was a mistake. I'm gonna put my little tentacle on her forehead. So you regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Mine or hers?
Yours.
Yours.
So you have to roll the d4. You roll the d4 as well.
Oh, okay.
Is Poe and Gilliam both unconscious, or was one of you like just really low HP?
We were both unconscious.
You're both unconscious. Okay.
Yeah, they're dead.
The rest of us are just really low HP.
Is anybody attempting to heal Gilliam or no?
Wait,
Yeah.
how do I find my spellcasting ability modifier?
It's wisdom, so the number that is next to like you have a
Oh,
plus
my
3,
plus
I believe.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
So you would get 4. You healed 4.
Woof.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Gillian.
Okay. So do you have to roll for that and see what you get?
Yep, I'm just doing that right now.
Poe, are you well?
He gains 7
7.
HP.
Okay.
Dang.
I am not sure, my love.
So with a little
face.
with
Your
a-
poor face.
with a little tentacle on Poe's shoulder, Ocho
Forehead.
manages to heal Poe back to consciousness, and as Rockstar manages to heal Gilliam at the same time. Everybody roll perception. So this
Also, you must really be more careful with your magics. Have you done this before? Are you new?
I have never done this spell before.
You must be careful. Be aware of your surroundings.
It was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
I'm so sorry.
I
You
rolled.
said roll perception, Trav?
Yes.
Phileas rolled 14.
I rolled 14 as well.
I rolled 7.
I rolled
six.
10.
Gilliam rolled 13.
So
Well-
did anybody roll over 14?
Over 14
14,
or higher.
14 or higher, yep.
Mr. Muck and Phileas did.
Phileas and Mr. Buck, what did you guys get? Sorry. Phileas,
14.
you both got 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so this all kind of happened at the same time. So as soon as the thunder struck in the water, it kind of shot out like as bolts of lightning and light across the water as Poe and Gilliam fall, but immediately get revived back to consciousness. In the distance, from all this, loud noise and light coming from your area, you begin to see what looks to be like a dorsal fin in the distance. Phileas and was it Rockstar? Sorry,
Mr. Muck.
Mr. Muck. Phileas and Mr. Muck, you both see this, and it looks almost as if it's coming to you guys, like moving towards you really fast. You don't know what it is. You can just tell like that the shape of it resembles like a kind of like a fin in the distance.
Is it big?
It's pretty far away. You can't tell what it is right now, but it's pretty far away. So to you, at this moment, it looks small because it's very far away. Whatever it is, it's coming towards you. As it's coming towards you, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Everyone, turn your lights off and swim down now. And I'm gonna like touch my necklace and go dark
All right.
and start swimming down.
My necklace is already off, so I'm gonna try to stealth and swim down.
Okay. So
Well, I thought that was the intention.
is everybody turning off their necklaces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so all of you tap your necklaces and you go into the darkness. Is anybody? Nobody has dark vision. So you kind of just stand. Are you guys gonna stand there, or are you gonna go into like? Are you guys gonna like huddle together,
Swim
or
down.
you went down a little bit
Yeah.
further? Okay.
I'm reaching out a tentacle to try and see if I can feel anyone near me.
I'm trying to do the buddy system where I have like two
Yeah.
people's hands.
You
in my
have
hand.
somebody next to you. Okay. So you guys are managing to kind of like hold on to somebody with what you can while still trying to hold on to your your weapons at the same time. Is anybody holding like a shield or a weapon at this time or no?
I would
I
a
have
shield.
I have my quarterstaff at all times.
Okay, so is anybody holding like any shields or
I would.
I don't have a shield.
I just have armor
Okay.
on.
so as soon as you guys turn off the light, you guys manage to find like a buddy next to you to hold on to. You guys kind of go a little bit into the deep as you wait for whatever this creature is to kind of pass on by. As soon as you turn the light off, I mean, you're not gonna be able to see anything. It's complete darkness down here. Nothing. You're not gonna really be able to hear anything, obviously, because it's not making any noise. But you guys can all roll perception with disadvantage.
Okay.
Once again, 14 or higher.
Hold
I
on.
failed.
Question:
Yeah.
How does lucky work with disadvantage?
So if you're just roll once, don't roll with disadvantage. Your first roll.
No. Like if I decide after my rolls to use lucky, because I re-roll a dice, right? I just get to
Oh,
re-roll my
okay.
lowest one,
So
right?
reroll with disadvantage. If you don't like it, you can roll once more.
Okay, I'll roll one more. And
I
see.
rolled 18 both times, so
Ooh.
21.
Okay.
13.
I failed.
I'll wait to see what Phileas gets here.
16 for Phileas then.
Okay. So Ocho, you managed to make out that this creature is actually now in the area above you. You don't necessarily see the silhouette anymore. More so the almost glow, but like you can almost like see the outline of its like jagged sharp teeth. You can't tell what kind of creature it is, but you can just kind of see like the glimmer and like the white coming off of its teeth like above you as it's swimming around with its mouth open.
How big is it?
It's massive. It's probably it's probably the size of your entire group if you guys were all standing next to each other. You don't know what it is. Phileas, you managed to kind of catch the under, because you're kind of like a little bit below, like a little bit deeper than everybody. Phileas, instead of looking up, you are looking down, and below you, you actually are seeing what looks to be like shimmers of light, almost like flickering of light, and you know exactly what this is. This is a group of jellyfish, and they're going and they're flashing their lights on and off, but in the very, very distant, darkness below, you manage to see this and you recognize that exactly what this is, because it's kind of like a common thing where you guys are from, to stay away from this, or swim along with it if you know. That's something that you would know, Phileas.
Okay, so I know that they are dangerous, but
You know that they're dangerous, but also know that if you are to encounter them, swimming with them is probably your best option.
okay, I'm gonna continue swimming towards them then.
Okay.
What was the fin?
It's still above us.
Still above you.
I
So
understand.
so Phileas looked below, and Ocho was watching above where you guys were before. Now, are you
Can I
going?
do something?
So you hold on a second, Phileas. I want you to roll a stealth.
Stealth. Okay. I'm going to use my last use of lucky because I rolled a nat one.
Sure.
And now I don't have any lucky left for the day. But that is, instead of a 1, it is going to be a 15.
Okay. You managed to move silently through the water without causing like any vibrations as you kind of swim further down below you. Go ahead, Ocho.
No, I changed my mind. I only have 1 spell slot left, I'm pretty sure, so I'm gonna just save it just in case. I
Okay.
change my mind.
So
I'm
you can.
swimming downwards with the group still.
If anybody is choosing to swim down below, I want everybody. Is everyone who's staying put and who's swimming below?
I think we're all swimming.
All swimming.
You're all swimming. Okay, everyone
Yeah.
roll. Everyone roll stealth.
Like super high.
Okay.
Like
Is it-
10.
25.
18.
Anybody roll less than 10?
3.
I
Oh.
rolled 10.
No, that's fine. You're okay.
5 for me.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay, so, you guys, Mr. Muck, Poe, Phileas, and Ocho, you were swimming. By the way, Phileas, you were like a little bit, like maybe about, I would say, 20 feet ahead of the group. As you kind of just like, you're not even really swimming. You kind of just go, because you have a shell, correct?
I have like, it's not on my back. I
Mhm.
wear like my shell is like kind of my hat.
Okay, so you kind of are not swimming. You're just letting yourself fall into the deep, because
Okay.
that's kind of like your version of just going stealth. You're just not moving at all, and you're just letting your tiny shell-like creature just fall into the deep ocean.
Okay.
The rest of the group manages to catch an eye on you and try to follow you along. But as Rockstar and Gilliam are holding on to each other, Gilliam begins to splash and make vibrations, like as he's struggling to kind of gather all of his gear. As Rockstar tries to grab onto him, but together they're kind of making even more vibrations as they're kind of struggling to get away from this big creature above. Oof. All right. You guys manage to catch this big creature look down on you, and now you can see that this giant creature is a big, large shark. But it looks at you guys, and it swims right past as it kind of just glances right over, and you guys can see like the dark shadow above you guys as it swims on through, and it
Have a good
goes
day.
off and it follows into the distance. And so now, Phileas, you have eyes on this glowing, light of coming below you that looks to you, like you said, the glowing lights from the jellyfish.
Would I know that with how bright is the light?
It's like flashy. So like it's equivalent to, from where you are, it's still in the distance. So you're not You're not like blinded by it, but you can. It almost looks like firecrackers like going out in the pure darkness as they like continuously go
would
off.
it be enough light for like my shadow to be visible
No.
to the people above me? No, like
No.
they would.
Oh,
be able see
to
my
above
line
you?
over the
Yes.
light?
So they can see where you are because of the light coming off of these things, and that's kind of how they're able to tell, like where you're going. Like it's not like you're swimming off like sideways. You're just going down, right? And everyone kind of assumes that everyone's just going to go down. Like I'm going to assume that no one's just swimming to the side, to like the right or anything. Everyone's just kind of going straight down into the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no one's purposely trying to get lost in this, but yeah.
So I'll let myself drift down till maybe like where till I'm about like maybe 40 feet above where the jellyfish swarm kind of is,
Okay.
and then I want to stop and tread water, and wait.
Okay. So you above you, you can see as like they descend above you, and eventually you're reunited with everybody in the group. And yeah.
Is that thing still chasing after us? And this is in like a more hushed tones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was chasing us. It looked at us and it left.
Concerning.
That thing was scary.
It was a shark.
Big sharks like that are no good. But we have to be careful now. We have another threat below us. Are you all familiar with this species of jellyfish?
No.
No, I can't recall myself.
They can be quite deadly. If we would continue to move downwards, I suggest trying to move past them or moving with them. Moving against them could cause us some bodily harm, and I know that personally I'm not feeling the best at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like anything can knock me unconscious right now.
I look guilty.
I'm quite fine.
I think we should make haste.
So are you guys gonna continue on down?
Is there a way around the jellyfish?
What you
Or-
see below you is flashes of light for a very long time. It's as if it's like a gigantic school of jellyfish. Like it's not like
But it's-
2 or 3.
And it's taking up like the whole area. of,
Yeah,
like,
from
the
where
castle.
you would have to swim far to the right, or
Like how
not the right. You'd have to swim not like down. I guess you'd have to either go with the flow or go back, like away from like where the light, because you can see the light is going somewhere. It's going to a place. It's not like the lights are just like stagnant in their own area. The light's kind of flowing.
But you mean we can't go around it? Like it's taking up the entire floor of the.
Well, you guys are Phileas descended 40 feet above them, right? So right now, looking below, it does look like it's surrounding a lot of you. So you can go back up again to see, if you guys want to go back up at this point.
I think we should continue down.
It is risky to move through the jellyfish. I know
We
that.
could ask them to move.
I do not believe they have minds like ours.
Well, we seen some sharks up in that bar. The shark just swam past us here. He seemed like a person.
The pond is not gracious with giving life and minds to all.
Do
We are
know-
gifted individuals.
Do we know if jellyfish are like people?
Who wants to know?
Mr. Muck.
Does anybody else?
I would, yeah.
I would want to know as well.
I'll just have all of you guys roll a history check.
Oof.
No.
4.
17.
6.
19.
19 as well.
I got 11.
Okay, so Phileas, Rockstar, and was it Phileas or was it Mr. Muck that got that high rolled?
It was Rockstar.
Rockstar.
No.
No, Phileas.
Didn't
I got 19.
Yeah, I know
Was
that
it Ocho and
Ocho and
Gilliam?
Gilliam it was Ocho, Gilliam, and Rockstar, right?
Didn't Rockstar roll like a 4?
No, I rolled a 4.
Oh, okay.
No, he
yeah.
rolled a 19. All right, so you guys managed to kind of like think back, but Gilliam, from traveling far across the pond has realized that yes, you can. There are ways to communicate to jellyfish, but there's so much different dialect when it comes to different jellyfish that it's not like you would just go up to them and be like talking to them directly. There are certain species of them that you can speak to, but you don't know from looking at without being in front of them like which ones are you're going to be able to communicate to. However, Rockstar, you do remember actually having a conversation with actually an old jellyfish, kind of like an old grandpa jellyfish, like when you were younger. He would tell you stories about him drifting with the herd as they continued on to kind of like feed through the bottom of the pond. So you do know that you can probably communicate with them. You just don't know if these specific jellyfish you can communicate or not.
I've talked to a jellyfish before. I don't know if these ones can talk to us though.
Why don't you try?
Okay. I mean, is there like, are they just like a giant wall of jellyfish kind of like passing by us?
So you're looking down below, and you can see the lights are. You're looking at the top of the jellyfish right now because the lights are going by. So, they're not the tops that are glowing, but their actual tentacles or their little they're not called tentacles. Are they called tentacles? I forget what they're called at the bottom of the jellyfish, but. Anyways, the underneath them is what's glowing. The top is completely see-through, and so you're about, like I said, you're about 40 feet up right now. So if you want to go down to talk above them, you can.
I'll float down a little bit, and then I'll say, "Hello, Sir Jellyfish."
And as you kind of float down and you're trying to talk to them, you almost hear. It doesn't sound like music, but it sounds like pinging, like a ding. Ding 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 as each of the lights are like, you can tell that the ping is coming from each of the lights that are going off. So they're communicating in a different form than obviously you beginning to talk to them. But roll a perception.
Natural 20.
Nice. Okay.
Ooh.
So you can tell that about a handful of these jellyfish have kind of stopped. They're no longer moving, and they are kind of communicating in a group as if they're kind of like not necessarily looking at you, but they know that you're above there talking to them, and they're basically just pinging off lights of each other, like ding 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 ding, like as they're kind of communicating with one another. And it looks like to you that they're kind of floating up above. They're not going very fast. Like these things are not like, they're not like going 150 miles an hour. They're going really slow through the bottom, but as they are floating up, they are going up to see you. And the kind of the pinging becomes I
have a question.
Yep.
How does Rockstar swim? Does he like spin around?
I'm imagining that all 5 of my like little points just push me along in the water.
Do you just like
I don't know.
do they all just like snap back?
I'm kinda. Is that how a starfish would move? I'm assuming.
Generally,
Starfish
starfish are
don't
they
swim.
don't swim. They go in the bottom of the ocean. So in your case, yeah, if you want all of your star points to kind of move at the same time to try to swim for you, that's how we'll say you're swimming.
It's actually
I
a magical
was doing,
force
like,
that's doing
butterfly
it.
stroke.
Actually, what we'll say that you have is little tiny flippers on each little star, and that's how you get around. Your father,
That's a great image.
your father
Yeah.
taught you how to get around as a starfish. Your father was not actually a starfish. You're half starfish, half like other fish, but you don't know. You only really knew your father.
I'm actually just doing cartwheels through the water.
I
That's
would
what I
prefer
pictured.
spinning as
You're like a
opposed to
shuriken.
Yeah,
I was
literally.
thinking like Staryu in the Pokemon
Yeah.
anime.
I always stick right to the point.
So you can see that they are floating above, and they're not coming to attack you, but you can tell that they're floating towards yourself.
Hello?
The pinging just goes ding, 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 like it's getting like louder as it just ping, 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 as they're talking and communicating to yourself.
Where are you guys off to? I'm gonna try to ping as well. Ping, 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 ping.
Are you just saying ping?
Yeah.
You're just making the noise ping.
Yeah.
Well, when they're pinging, they're using some sort of what seems to be, roll of perception again.
16.
They are using a code. It almost reminds you of, I mean, outside a game, it would remind you of Morse codes kind of thing, but that's kind of what they're using. But they're using light. They're not using the light is just making audible noise, but you can tell that they're using light to do that.
Can I flick my amulet on enough?
You can.
In a fast, rapid succession.
All right. So you
Click,
begin.
click, click, click,
You begin
click,
to click your necklace on and off as you can see them like responding to that. So you're flicking it and they are like they're basically doing like a copycat, like a hello, 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 as they're copying every move that you do. So if you flick yours 3 or 4 times, they're making the ping 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 4 times.
What are you saying to them?
I have no idea.
You can speak to these creatures.
No, but I think they can understand what I'm saying, maybe? I don't know. Let me ask him if they know who Octavio is. Do you guys know where Octavio is?
And
I cannot.
And flashing my light.
they respond with no flashes. So
I don't think they know.
there's no pinging.
Okay.
Well.
Can you guys guide us to safety or across the other jellyfish?
And you can tell that they're once again talking to each other as they then ping 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 ping, and like a bunch of lights kind of go off.
I'll turn around. I think they said yes.
Oh my.
Well, then, if they said yes, we should follow.
Of course.
Agreed.
Does it look like they're slowly moving?
They're going back down to join the rest of the jellyfish that are going. So as you guys continue to follow them behind, these jellyfish go down, 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 and they form almost like a barrier where the rest of the jellyfish have to go around them. And this brings an opening that you guys can swim past. So as you guys pass by, ping, 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 and you can see other lights as there's kind of, you can assume saying goodbye and good luck. As far as you can tell, anyways, Rockstar.
And I'm
Do
flashing.
they spell it out like
you.
neon light?
Yeah, it's just like it's just high with their tentacles.
So what if Felice had epilepsy?
So you guys pass by them, and now when you look up, you can see the flashing coming from the bottom of the jellyfish, and you guys are now past the jellyfish, like school, I guess, like you can call them.
Well, that was awfully nice of them.
Good job, Rock.
I
My
underestimate you.
pleasure. Now where do we go?
Down.
Down.
Let's turn our lights back on now.
Good idea.
Click.
Okay. So you guys are now in a not well lit, but you guys are now lit back up with your light source, so you're able to see around you. As you kind of go around, you're seeing lights in the distance coming from different things, whether you don't know if it's jellyfish or whatnot, but it doesn't seem to nothing seems to be coming towards you anymore as you guys continue to descend deeper and deeper and deeper into the deep. And as you guys kind of continue to go on, I'll have each of you roll 2 perceptions. So each of you roll right now for perception, and then I'll do another one in a few seconds.
Natural 1.
Fun times.
I'm rolling really
Me
well.
too, Muck.
21.
Unironically, I also rolled a natural 1.
Jeez.
Oh,
How many
no.
natural ones did we just get?
3 sounds like.
I got 21.
Okay.
I also got a 21.
Okay.
Okay.
And Gilliam?
19.
19.
Oh, you ruined it.
Okay, so you guys are descending, but you're also like looking around you. And Gilliam, you managed to spot you kind of spot what looks to be like a floating school of fish, kind of like around each other, just kind of talking. And Rockstar, you managed to see a floating whale, not whale, sorry, not floating, a floating like gigantic fish that seems to be kind of like in the distance with a bunch of light sources kind of on its back. And you can also see, Ocho, you can see that gigantic fish as well too.
Oh, whale.
What? A whale?
Yeah, you don't
There's a
see.
very big fish.
Do you know how to
Yeah.
speak whale? I know how to speak whale.
You can speak whale?
Whoa!
I don't remember.
There's only one way to find out.
Have we touched the bottom yet?
No, are you guys going towards the things that you see or no?
Yeah, I think that's my main mission is just to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, we're all just letting ourselves fall.
Yeah.
Okay, so so if you guys are not even caring about what's around you, then at this
Well,
point,
we'll keep our eyes peeled.
I'm
Okay.
not caring. I'm just,
yeah, that's fine. I just want to tell you what's around you as you guys continue to fall. So, you guys see all these things around you, but you continue to descend further and further into the deep. As you guys kind of begin to kind of see that you're getting a lot dimmer here than even where you were before, and darkness, even though you have the light source, kind of almost seems to not travel further than like maybe even like 10 feet in front of you now. So it's almost like if it's like a cloudy mist that is surrounding you. But with one final kind of look around, I want you guys to roll another perception.
oof. 5.
16.
15.
Also 5.
22.
Nice. All right. And Gilliam?
Gilliam.
14.
Okay. So everybody that rolled basically 12 or higher, you were able to see in the distance what looks like almost like a sunken ship and the very bottom of this thing that has light kind of coming from the inside of it, and you can tell that it is because you can see the broken like mast that's in the middle that's just kind of sticking up with like a giant spike. And at first it looks like you don't really know what it is by just looking up, but you can tell that that's what it is that's been broken in half. And you guys now can see this giant ship that's just sitting there at the very, very, very bottom. And you can assume that this ship is obviously not floating. It's definitely sitting on the bottom of this pond. And you can see this pretty far away. So you can tell that the light coming off of it is illuminating the ship enough so you guys are able to see this.
Poopy.
Oh my. I wonder if there's gold in there.
No, what is it? I've never seen this kind of plant.
It's called a butt.
It is
What?
unnatural, not of this pond. It's a blasphemy.
We should be careful.
Yeah, do you guys see that? I seen a ship, right?
Should I stealth ahead and investigate? I can basically make myself invisible.
Yes, brave criminal, please.
Yes. Goodbye, my love. If I do not return, take care of the children. Oh, we don't have children yet. Well,
No, we ate them.
we ate them. We ate them in some tadpole soup. Alright, so I'm gonna try to stealth ahead and check out this sunken ship.
Okay, and this is just doing your natural. Is this like your natural ability that I have, or you're just a stealthing in general?
I'm just stealthing.
Yeah.
He's just bragging, saying he can turn invisible.
Sure.
But I rolled a 24.
A 24. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I have a +8 in stealth.
as you're talking to Poe, and Poe's kind of like looking at you, you begin to like turn into like the water, and Poe can only tell you from like your eyes. That's like all she can kind of tell that what you are, because like your oxalati like little squid, or your little lizard
'Cause of
body.
my fierce lashes.
Yeah, has kind of just like been one with like the water now, and you can still see her. It looks like little, whatever. What do you have for a weapon? Looks like all you can just see is like your weapons in your hand as you float
My
down.
daggers.
Yeah, that's all. It looks just like a little dagger that's just floating down. So, you approach the ship, and you can tell that on the outside of it, it looks as if there's like a broken light bulb that's in that's kind of like on a outside dim street kind of thing. As these lights kind of like flicker and kind of form light onto this ship. So it looks like it's kind of light source that is trying to like attract people to this ship. And you kind begin to how close are you going to get down to it?
Okay, so I can see this light. How close am I where I can see this light source?
So you don't have to be. You were able to see it from where you were before, but you can tell that it was a ship and it was illuminated. But now you're kind of getting closer and you're able to see more detail of the ship and tell that it's surrounded by mussels and different crustaceans that are kind of clinging to the side of it, and it's just covered in algae and like moss and everything. It's just like it doesn't have any sort of resemblance of the wood. It's just you can't see anything other than the fact that it's covered in just like random stuff.
Is the light coming from within the ship?
There is light inside the ship, and but the main light that is like flickering on the outside of it is just coming from different creatures that are floating around it as it's kind of just like illuminated. But you can tell that there's light inside the ship. Yes.
Okay, I will approach stealthily still and try to make out what's causing the light.
Okay, so you kind of go up to the, I'm assuming like the front of the ship, and there's multiple different, not necessarily windows, but the windows are almost like broken. Obviously, there's no
like
glass left. Yeah, so from what you can tell, you can't tell exactly what is causing the light, but you can see from looking on the inside that it's pretty well lit. So you'd have to kind of get a little bit into the ship in order to tell. Do you want to go
That's
inside?
fine. I will go into the ship stealthed.
So you're gonna go back. You're gonna go into the ship's stealth. Okay. So as you approach into the ship, give me 1 second. All right. So as you approach into the ship, you're just about to go in. As you can feel like a what giant like vibration behind you. And roll a perception roll fast.
Oh no. Oh no. 6.
Okay. Behind you, as you go in, you just enter into the ship, but you are still stealth. You're basically invisible at this point. You turn around to see a giant kind of wall of what looks to be like a dark gray on the top, light gray on the bottom as it passes by you, and it curves and kind of covers like the light outside. So basically you're inside the front of the ship, but this giant creature, whatever it was, is now kind of like blocking the light that is coming from the outside as it swims past you. But it doesn't seem to notice that you got inside the ship. So now you are inside the front of the ship, and the light that you kind of are seeing is almost coming from deeper into it.
I'm going to say under my breath, "Oh, Neptune, what have I gotten myself into?" And then look down into the ship to see what the internal light is.
All right. So you continue to travel on into the deep, but everybody else above, I want you guys to roll perception.
Everybody
All
above.
right.
Yep. Everybody except for Mr. Muck.
Oh my
19
god.
again.
19
I rolled
again.
13.
5.
23.
I also rolled 13.
Ooh.
Okay. So who rolled higher than 15?
Me.
All right.
Gilliam.
So Gilliam and Rockstar, the shark, is now patrolling around this crustacean of a ship, and you can see that just as you don't know because you couldn't really tell where Mr. Muck is at all, because as he got further away, he's stealthing extremely good. So he's basically just one with the water as he got about 30 feet away from you guys. So now you can see this giant shark is just patrolling the outside of this ship. So you would probably assume that you don't know if it's the same shark, but it looks to be about the same size as the one that just passed by you earlier.
Oh no, guys, it's the shark. He's back.
Where?
He's
I
patrolling
don't
above us.
see him. I don't see.
we should turn our lights off.
I don't see him, but I trust you, Rock, and I'll turn off the light.
I don't think I ever turned my light back on.
I'll shut mine off too.
Okay. Are you guys gonna go join Mr. Muck, or are you guys gonna stay up here and see what he comes back with?
I'm waiting.
Okay. Is
I'll
there-
go join Mr. Muck.
All right. Is anybody else
Yes, I'm
going down?
not gonna move.
You're not gonna move. Okay, so just Gilliam is going down.
I guess.
All right, Gilliam.
I will too, actually, because I would probably want to go where Muck is.
Okay, so Gilliam and Poe roll stealth.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Ooh.
I rolled a 10.
Oh,
All right. So Gilliam, you managed to kind of copy almost what you saw Phileas doing earlier, where he kind of just let himself fall, and you kind of do the same thing as well too. Poe attempts to kind of copy the same situation, but begins to lose like a few of her belongings as she tries to grab onto him, making a little bit of vibrations, and you can tell that the shark is kind of just a little bit more alert than he was before. But you manage to kind of help her and stop her from losing any of her materials as you kind of help her stealth along with you as you both begin to fall. And you guys are now kind of in the front of the ship as well too. So you guys are now facing the lights from the inside, and you can see now what Mr. Muck was able to see before. Mr. Muck, you're now inside the ship, and you could begin to go deeper and deeper and deeper into it. You can't really, it's pretty well lit, almost like underwater bugs are kind of lighting the inside of the ship. You don't see anybody in it as of right now, but you're still only in the very front of it. It's a pretty large ship. So are you going to continue on?
Do I see what's causing? So the light that you were saying on the inside is caused by these bugs.
Yeah, they're just like bioluminescence or whatever of coming.
Does it look like anyone has been living in the ship?
From you're just at the front of it, so it's not like there'd be no reason for anybody to just live at the very front of the ship, like looking out kind of thing. But you can go deeper into it and see. But from what you're looking around, all you see on the bottom of it is just more moss and more just algae on the floor as you kind of pass over a few maybe little, not trinkets necessarily, but like little pieces of, looks like if you want to move a few things around, maybe some chairs that are knocked over and stuff, but nothing other than that.
Okay. Is the window that I climbed in through still obscured by the shark, or did he keep?
No, he wasn't just standing there. He swam by pretty fast.
Okay. I'm going to sneak back out of the ship.
Back the way you came.
Yeah, and swim back to the party to report what I.
So as soon as you turn around, you notice that two creatures are entering into the ship as well too. Are you gonna swim towards those creatures? Or are you gonna?
Do I recognize them?
Do you have your light on or off? Sorry. Okay, but even with your light off, you were definitely able to recognize that it's two members of your party because the light's kind of pretty well lit under here, and you can see that it's Poe and Gilliam that is now kind of joining you in the ship.
Poe, Gilliam, what are you doing?
There were sharks.
I know. I'm scouting ahead. It isn't safe. You're not as stealthy as me. I could see you even without my light. Where are the
Not
others?
bad. I did a pretty good job, I think.
Where are the others?
It's my armor. I'm so flashy.
They are still above.
Well, we should probably go back and get them.
Are we attempting to shelter in here?
Well, don't you want to see what's inside?
I do. I'll
We
stay
could
here.
always-
You guys go back.
Yeah, you will. All right. And I'm going to swim back to get the party.
Reroll stealth.
Okay, so good. 26.
Gilliam, are you staying with Poe?
Yeah, that once was enough for me making that journey.
All right. So as soon as you kind of, it's as if Mr. Muck is kind of just saying like hello and goodbye as he kind of just like, explains himself that he's going to go back to the party and grab the rest of them to let them know to come inside the ship to see if you guys are wanting to stay here for a little while before continuing on. So you are now going, and you manage to see in the distance the silhouette of the shark pass by the ship, and you wait just for the right moment for him to go around the side of the ship as you go up as fast as you can, and you join the rest of the remaining party.
Guys,
Oh,
hello.
Muck, you startled me.
Sorry, I'm just so stealthy. So, I thought I told you I was scouting ahead. I don't know why those two came.
Wait, who? Oh, I didn't even realize anyone left.
Well, if you guys weren't playing on your phones.
Me and Ocho were playing Go Fish.
All right. So there is, how you say, a large shark.
Yeah, I seen that.
Probably the same one as before. Should we
I mean-
ask him if we could go into the ship?
What if he
Ask
tries
the
to
shark?
eat us?
Yeah, isn't he like a person? We seen a shark in the bar up at the top.
As I said
still
earlier.
Well, it could be his house, right? We don't know.
He's just swimming circles. I don't know.
Or he could be mad.
No, does anyone want to ask, or do we want to sneak onto the ship?
Was there anything inside the ship of interest?
Just glowing bugs, but I didn't go very far.
Sounds tasty.
Hmm.
I don't know. And I'm just going to try. I'm going to try and stealth my way down because I'm too scared to approach the shark.
Well, I guess here's a good question. Who is not actually trying to stealth? I'm assuming all of you guys noticed how well Mr. Muck managed to appear kind of like just like the water that's in front of you. So are you guys, I'm under the assumption you're all going to try stealthing, correct?
Before, I'm gonna turn to Rock. Rock, I trust your judgment. Should we try to speak to this shark?
I feel I would want to be asked if I could sleep in somebody's house. If it is, I just don't want to put us in risk.
Should I
Valid
roleplay?
points.
I mean, I was lucky with the jellyfish, but I don't know how it would go with a shark.
It's your call.
Plus, if it gets
Perhaps-
violent, I don't know. I need to
Per-
rest a bit.
Perhaps me and you can go together and speak with this shark.
Is he just like staying in like one spot, circling around tightly?
You can. Okay, so sorry, Ocho, you're asking, do I want you to roll?
Yeah, because I said
So
I
you and
can't
Gilliam, or
stealth.
you and Mr. Muck, go and roll stealth.
Oh my god.
Because you guys are both going back down while these
25.
two are 25. Okay, and
Not one.
okay, so okay, so sorry, real fast. Rockstar and Phileas, you mentioned that you guys are just kind of sitting there, and you begin to contemplate like, shouldn't we? If you want to go up to the shark and decide to strike up a conversation. As I keep calling Mr. Muck Gilliam. As Mr. Muck,
You're so similar.
as Mr. Muck and Ocho begin to descend down, as Mr. Muck once again somehow manages to just be one with the water. However, Ocho tries to do the same thing as well too, but as she does, she kind of like catches a glimpse of this shark teeth and face as it just approaches around the front of the ship, and she's able to see it, just the silhouette of it over top, as she releases a little bit of spark left that was from her leftover thunder as she just and releases a loud thunder again as she's scared as hell as she sees this large silhouette come around, and you can tell that the shark is now like veering towards the group of you as you guys can roll initiative. And that is
Oh shit!
and that is where
Can
we're
we
going to be
talk
ending
to it?
this session.
Oh no.
Don't worry, I
Oh,
have,
no.
I have,
Y'all
I have,
gonna
a,
die.
I haven't used my single spell slot yet, y'all.
Ending another session with Ocho fucking everything up.
With thunder,
Good.
featuring lightning.
Featuring lightning, yeah. She kind of like farted thunder at the very end. She was like, and then it was like, "Brrr," and then
Make me nervous.
Nervous farts.
The shark is quite
Oh my
ominous. I like
God.
it.
yeah. So we will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks again for listening on Spotify and any other app that is out there for podcasts. You guys can listen to on Apple Podcasts. You guys can listen to Google Podcasts. We're on a lot of platforms. We're also now on YouTube as well too. So if you guys don't want to listen on Spotify and you're listening on YouTube, there's more episodes coming to both. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode of D&D Express.
Yeet.
Puddle jumpers.
Eee.